Bad Boys 4 is doing really well. It came out on Friday,
Yep.
June 7th. Um, you have declared that you will not be in attendance of this film. I have said now on the pod I did say that I don't know that I would be attending. However, after further consideration, I think I might want to know what happens next. In
Okay.
fact, I'm hearing a lot of people say a lot of good things about number 4. They're saying it's definitely better than number 3.
I mean, it's not hard for it to be better than number 3.
Well, someone, we both know and the public knows, I listen to his podcast pretty regularly. Van Lathan, who is also like a movie buff and whatnot, Van Lathan said he saw it and he gave it a ranking. And I thought it was really interesting. So let me try to get the ranking correct. He said Bad Boys, the original. Then he's putting number 4 as the second best film. And then number 2, and then number 3.
Okay.
Considering that there were people who did not like Bad Boys 3, I think it's really interesting to hear someone put it at number 2 of the 4. I was like, wow, okay. Now, I'm not saying everything Van likes I like, so I may not care for the film at all, but I do think it's getting a lot of buzz, and I'm curious. It's making me curious. I gotta say, the millennial in me is like, oh, y'all went and saw it, and it was y'all saying this. I need to see it too. So, so yeah. I mean, that's. But I know you have more. I know you have factual information about how well it's doing. So, but we thought we should
Um,
highlight the fact that it is actually performing really well in the theaters.
it is doing spectacularly well, or as some people would say, swimmingly well.
Swimmingly.
Um, so they're at 104.6 million global. Um, and this is according to Deadline.
Mm-hmm.
It says 105 million global opening for Bad Boy. It's at 100. It's at nearly 105 million dollars. Um, it's doing really well.
Really well. I mean, good for them. Good for them. Um, what I also thought was really interesting is that there's been a lot of there's been a lot of conversation around Will Smith's return. Now, I thought that Will Smith had a film come out right after the Oscars slap happened. I'm pretty sure he had a film come out, but I guess this is the first film that he's done like promo for, and you know, there's been some time since then, um, and so people are talking about whether or not his return is welcomed or not. Now, I think overwhelmingly people are happy to see
He
him.
had he had the Apple film Emancipation.
Right, that's what I thought.
I
Um,
just looked it up. Yeah,
yeah.
but I
So
don't think that movie even came out in theaters. I think it was only on Apple streaming.
because somebody said it was his first movie um, since the slap, but technically it is not his first movie since the slap.
Right.
Um, so, and I don't think he really did any press or any promo for that Apple film,
Okay.
um, because that came out shortly after um, the Oscars. So there's
Okay.
a lot of chatter about whether he is, I guess, deserving of like being out in the world and um, you know,
Doing his job.
doing his job and doing press and and people are welcoming him, audiences are welcoming him. You had Stephen A. Smith say that he owes Black people a conversation. I don't know when we decided that Stephen A. was speaking for the rest of us, but
But a conversation about what?
well, that's the question. A conversation about what? Because you are. He apologized, and he apologized to the person he hit. What is he supposed to say to us?
I mean, he already apologized to people, so.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it.
According to Vibe.com, Stephen A. Smith to quote unquote stand down following backlash for comment on Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Says here Stephen A. Smith is quote unquote standing down after receiving backlash for saying Will Smith needs to publicly address the Black community regarding him slapping Chris Rock at the 2022 Academy Awards. During Monday's June 10th episode of the Stephen A. Smith Show, the ESPN anchor clarified his original comments before acknowledging the feedback he's received from Will Smith's supporters. According to Stephen A. Smith, Will's actions directly affected Will Packer, who produced the Oscars that year and was the first Black producer to do so. He also believes Will Smith's film Emancipation was possibly snubbed the following year due to his behavior, with Stephen asserting director Antoine Fuqua may have missed out on a Best Director nomination. Quote, I was thinking about Black folks everywhere aspiring to be in this business, and something like that happens, and it was a blemish on all of us, because I know how much white America reveres Will Smith, and they're thinking along the lines of, in my mind, hell, if he did that, what would the rest of us do? That's what I was thinking when I said what I said Friday about being torn. Stephen A. Smith then added that he never discouraged the public from supporting Will and acknowledged the actor's life has been more good than bad. That's a quote, more good than bad. He also shared that he received countless messages from Black fans of Will who wholeheartedly disagree with the notion that the actor quote unquote owes the Black community anything. Quote, who said he lost our support? He never lost it. We didn't like what he did, but damn it, we love Will Smith and we forgive him. Okay. You don't hear Chris Rock talking about it, complaining about him. Eventually, they'll meet and they'll talk, Stephen A. said. We heard all of that, so I gotta stand down.
Yeah, there's this obsession with that some people have with when someone does something wrong or when when someone does something wrong or someone has a negative opinion, that it somehow means that like throw the whole thing away. Like it's not all or nothing, you know? I think sometimes people treat it that way. It's kind of ridiculous, you know. So I don't know. I again, Stephen A doesn't speak for us.
No,
I don't think he's representative of all of us, and I agree. I think people were upset that he did what he did, but I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, well, we never want to see him again," and like go shut him, put him in a jail, and you know exile him. I don't think anybody thought that way.
I don't think that was the overall consensus. No.
No, no, we gotta stop doing that. Not us, but people gotta stop doing that. Where you do something bad, and same Van Lathan actually made a good point and said, there's this idea that we have to, um, like some for whatever reason, we don't get to just make mistakes and move on. Um, Instead, it's like you have to pay the penance and you have to, you know, jump through hoops when a lot of times When you're looking at white actors or entertainers or whatever, they make their mistakes and then they move on with their lives. And people don't completely get rid of them because of it. I don't know.
Uh, I don't know. I said a long time ago what I think should have happened.
Uh-huh.
Will Smith assaulted a man on national television. There should have been consequences.
Of
Uh,
course.
that to me is very clear. Uh, Chris Rock chose not to, and that's it.
Well,
So
I think there were consequences. If you're talking about like pressing charges, Chris Rock did not do that. So then where the rest of us are left with, okay, that he didn't press charges, you know? Yeah, you go ahead. But yeah, that's, you know.
yeah, I don't really have much more to say on the matter. As far as Bad Boys 4, no, I'm not watching it. I don't care who's giving it a good rating or not. Yeah, people are saying it was great. That's cool. Three was a waste of my time. I'm not watching 4. So that's my stance.
Okay.
Especially not in the theater. Maybe at home where I can press pause and walk away or turn it off. But no, I'm not going to theaters to support Bad Boys 4 after the abysmal film that number 3 was.
Okay. All right.